Welcome back, boys and girls, to another episode of K-Fave Comparisons. My name is Mr. Knowitall, Daniel John Schafer, and today I am joined once again by the king of K-Fave kickflips, Mr. Wex, breaking the Lawson. Wex, how are we doing today, bro?
Doing pretty solid. Had a whole long day at work, but I've been looking forward to this episode because, man, we're going to talk some really, really good wrestling and some questionable wrestling, but mostly really good wrestling.
Mostly really good wrestling. I completely agree. Today's episode is WWF Survivor Series 1996 going up against last weekend's AEW Full Gear 2021. Damn, lots of meat on the bone here. Lots of stuff to talk about on both these shows. I did get some feedback from last week's show. Seems like people are digging it, digging the vibe for sure. Wex, did you hear anything back from your side?
Only feedback I got this week was on my amazing karaoke performances at your birthday party, but that's about it.
It was legendary, but that's what we're keeping kayfabe, baby. We're keeping it kayfabe over there. We had an actual rager. There was an actual karaoke bar in my house. It was a really, really good time. Wex was kind of the star of the show too. He was like the rapping master, man. I mean, they were the hits were just coming out of Wex's mouth, man. It was just knocking it out of the park. The whole party was
Anna Jay,
popping.
the star of the show.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, the star of the show. Speaking of Mr. Star of the show, what's the news, man? What's going on? What's the current events? What's happening in the business?
We got a little bit going on in the business. One thing that what kind of happened at Full Gear, Jay Lethal, the new signing to AEW, he is now all elite.
Yes.
He had his first match on Dynamite last night. Was a fucking banger with old Sammy Guevara for the TNT title.
It was a great match. Really Go watch it.
Yeah, and he's even got that little Macho Man thing at the beginning of his song. I dig that. It's a nice little throwback. But I don't know if this is news, but Ric Flair is salty. Ric Flair is upset.
Yeah, I mean,
about many things, and he thinks that WWE is trying to erase his legacy, which I think is pretty ridiculous. Like you can't erase Ric Flair. You might be able to erase Benoit, but you can't erase Ric Flair.
I don't think that's happening.
And he's been, he's brought his podcast back. So he's been talking a little shit. He said he thinks Kenny Omega's awesome, but he doesn't think that CM Punk and Bryan Danielson have really done anything for AEW because the ratings haven't been over 1 million consistently. He's just salty because they didn't want to sign him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
that's definitely what's going on. And he also said that Hulk Hogan is dealing with some serious health issues, but hasn't Hulk Hogan always been dealing with health? Hasn't Hulk Hogan been dealing with health issues for like the past 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, I know he's probably pretty sick. Hulk Hogan, at least it seems like there's some validity to that. I mean, I don't know, man. I think a lot of it is Ric Flair just trying to stay in the limelight, and I think he's just playing a heel, and it is what it is. And obviously, Triple H is not in a certain position right now, and he's probably just, Ric Flair has always been a guy that just kind of goes off of his basic emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree. And speaking of injuries and surgery, Kenny Omega, former world champion, just dropped it, is going to be undergoing multiple surgeries to repair many of the injuries, including the major one to his shoulder. And turns out he's also been wrestling with vertigo for the past 3 years, which is fucking insane.
Christ. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys watch Dr. Bo Hightower on YouTube, the chiropractor. He did an adjustment video with Kenny Omega, and that's when Kenny Omega really went into some of his injuries and started talking about that vertigo. And I couldn't imagine walking, let alone wrestling with vertigo.
Yeah, I can't.
He's wrestled some banger matches in the past 3 years.
Of course he has.
And the room spinning. But yeah, so it doesn't look like we're not gonna see Kenny Omega for a while because he's definitely gonna have to heal up.
That makes sense.
Take care of that shoulder. And they teased a little Adam Cole, Kenny Omega thing right before he left. So maybe when he comes back, we'll get some more epic shit.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I think Kyle O'Reilly will eventually come over as well once his contract is up. And it'll be O'Reilly, Fish, and Cole against the newly babyface Young Bucks and babyface Kenny Omega making the triumphant return. I think that will probably happen at some point, maybe next year. Who knows? Yeah, man, what else we got going on in the haps?
So the only other really big thing that I could see besides the obvious of old Bryan Danielson turning heel last night, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but I mean, he's a great heel, but it was awesome. But turns out, I was reading in the news, Jeff Cobb turned down a WWE contract in 2020. Apparently they were offering him nice money and everything, but he saw what happens. he knew it was going to happen. So he's like, "No, I'm going to stick with New Japan. They know how to use me." And then now we got the whole Forbidden Door thing. So maybe we can see him pop back up in AEW again.
Maybe.
Because the one match he had, it was pretty cool to see. And Jeff Cobb is amazing. Big fan of Jeff Cobb ever since the Monster Montanza days on Lucha Underground. He's a very amazing, like one of those large but super athletic type dudes.
Yeah.
Like a Brian Cage, but without all the muscles. More like just he's like a
Bronson Reed kind of guy.
Like if Rhino could do flips.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's kind of how he looks. How I think that's broad style. But besides that, there's not really much more very interesting things to talk about.
Well, you know what? There was a ton of interesting shit going on in 1996. So let's get in our Wayback Machine. Let's jump right into it here. We're going into WWF Survivor Series 1996. On this show so far, we've been kind of walking you guys down month by month the WCW storylines. I'm having a great time doing that. Also, I want to go ahead and give you guys a heads up. Next year is 2022, right? So the 25 year or whatever is actually going to be 1997. I know that me and the KG cast back in season 1, season 2 covered a lot of 1997, but the show is different now. And I think it's really fun to kind of continue this, especially with WCW. I'm not saying we're going to do it all the way through with WWF. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I definitely do want to keep these kind of storylines going, and maybe we can figure out on the show when WCW really did screw the pooch and start going downhill for sure. We can pinpoint it here. But without further ado, let's jump into this week's show. It's WWF Survivor Series 1996. Amazing movie man narration open. One man will risk it all. It's like
WWF Survivor Series presented by Milton Bradley's Karate Fighters.
Oh, it's such good stuff. Yeah, man. King, JR, Vince all on the call. Always super funny. JR is pretty much a heel this whole show too, and King was almost kind of like a face. It was weird. More like, maybe not necessarily a face, but more like Bobby Heenan. Like not necessarily a direct heel, just kind of like ripping on both sides.
Being devil's advocate, just tossing his 2 cents every now and then.
Yeah, but let's get into the first match here, man. It's Owen and Bulldog and the New Rockers, which is Leif Cassidy and Marty Jannetty.
Jannetty.
Yeah, buddy. Versus Furnace and LaFond and the Godwins. Oh, wow, man. Yeah, I mean, this compared to what WCW is doing on their shows is hot garbage. It feels like painfully ironic too, considering what's happening now with like the overly gimmicky guys coming up on WWE and AEW making this massive surge. But yeah, it was just a bad match. This was boring. The work rate wasn't very good. No one in the match is really over, and that might piss some people off. But at this time, even Owen and Bulldog weren't really that over at this point. It was sad. I gave it 1 beer just for Owen and Bulldog. What did you think about this opener?
Dude, the crowd was fucking comatose for this match. Al Snow just looked ridiculous in the New Rockers gear.
Yeah.
Anytime you put new in front of a tag team name that used to exist in the past, it never works out. It's always trash.
Bad, yeah.
And dude, talk about today's Survivor Series matches having no stakes. What were the fucking stakes in this?
Right.
Like this was like a house show thrown together, like multi-man tag. Like there was nothing. It was lame. Like I said, I gave it 1 beer too, and not just for Bulldog and Owen, which is cool to see, just because I could tell they were trying, like they were like doing good wrestling, but like there was no substance there. And just the vibe of the crowd from WCW 96 versus the opening match and the vibe of the crowd of WWF 96, I can already tell why WCW is winning. Just the energy was different from the get-go.
No, I agree fully. Let's keep it rolling here. The next match is Mankind versus The Undertaker. And we did get a nice little Paul Bearer Mankind promo in the back that was great. Yeah. Yeah, I know we just had this NXT takeover where we had Paul Ellering in like a shark cage, and this time we get Paul Bearer in one, which is pretty funny. I don't even know that we did that on purpose, but it was what it was. I mean, okay, so this is a legendary feud that these guys have, but I feel like they've had much better matches than this with each other.
100%.
It certainly wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't really great either. It actually felt really hokey. It like felt more phony than their other ones. I don't know why. The finish was decent, yeah, I mean, not the match. It wasn't garbage, but it wasn't really good either. I gave it like 2.25 beers. Where are you at on match number 2 here, Mankind versus Undertaker?
Dude, I almost agree with everything you said right there. Like, this is a legendary feud, Undertaker and Mankind, but they've had so many great matches, even in the same year, but this match just does not do it.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't connect. And, like, the commentary is fucking hilarious. Like, Vince says, Undertaker has him by the goozle. Like, what the fuck is the goozle? And then he also says some other weird shit. And we get Terry Gordy at the end of the match coming out as the Executioner, which is
just to take a bump and roll out and walk right back. Like, what is that?
1996 WWF has like lots of legendary wrestlers and fucking weird gimmicks.
Yeah.
It's super weird. And
we're going to get to that for sure.
We'll get to another one here in a minute. Yeah, once we get to another one of these fucking multi-mans. Just like you said, like there were some gnarly bumps for Mankind in this match. Like it wasn't like they weren't trying. They've had way better matches. This just was just like in every major feud you've ever watched. There's always those just kind of matches, and this was it. This just was not hitting. I gave it 3 beers. I got it right in the middle just because, like, the work rate was there, but the story and all the extra stuff and the executioner was fucking lame.
Dude, the executioner stuff was
and JR is selling it like, oh my god, it's the executioner. It's the executioner.
Vince was too. I thought Vince. I popped for it because I thought it was hilarious. I felt like the commentary was trying so hard. Yeah, so hard to sell it. But I actually thought that like the commentary team all night, even in these bad matches, the commentary team was gold. JR's like heelish one-liners were incredibly good. Like,
I know it felt like Vince McMahon was uncomfortable with a lot of the stuff he would say.
Yes,
he would go and show their faces, and he'd like look like,
yeah. Man, Sunny makes her way to the ring, and my goodness, it's definitely the best part of the show thus far. Then we got Doc Hendricks in the back with Captain Hunter Hearst Helmsley here, which I popped for that. Everybody kind of gets a turn on the mic, and it's not good. It's stupid. They all just have like one-line things, and none of them are good. The match here is Crush, Jerry the King Lawler, Goldust, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Mark Marrow, the Stalker, Rocky Maivia, and Jake the Snake Roberts is the replacement Big Pop. Wyndham out here looking like Big Papa Dudley.
Dude, he looks like Spike Dudley with a fucking mustache, like overgrown Spike Dudley with a mustache.
Like the Stalker, by the way, is the actual biological father for Devon and Bubba Ray in canon. I feel like that makes sense to me. He's making the towns, going up and down the towns, and didn't he end up having like, isn't Bray Wyatt like his nephew or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Because Bray Wyatt's named after him.
Insane. Yeah, honestly, guys, like I was right in the middle on this one because I felt like the work rate for out of all the multi-man matches, this one was the best one. I mean, it's a hodgepodge of guys in the ring, but the work rate really wasn't bad. Even Mark Marrow, I was actually kind of impressed by his work rate. Like, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I'm certainly not saying it was like a great match or anything, but it wasn't bad. I mean, the Jake the Snake King stuff at that point in their career was actually pretty damn good. It was smooth. Jake was a pleasant surprise. I think he still had a little bit of gas in the tank here, and he hadn't really embarrassed himself that much. And it was really long, but that was kind of the theme of the night. Rocky getting the win was just kind of icing on the cake for me. That Rocky Maivia is the white meat babyface gets the win. Yeah, I'm right dead in the center on it. 3 beers for me. What do you think about this multi-man?
Right there with you too, brother, with the 3-pack on this one. And yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was like you said, it was solid, nothing amazing. Like, you couldn't, like, no real story, so you can't really go higher than a 3 beer when there's not that emotion there. But there was some funny, good little stuff here or there in the match. It was the debut of Rocky Maivia in the WWF, so this was his debut match, and he won with a fucking shoulder breaker, which is weird as hell. And then Vince called him, he's going for the shoulder breaker. It's like so fucking telegraphed. Yeah. Which is weird for his debut match, that he was just so popping off for his finisher before he even did the finisher. But, dude, Mark Marrow was killing it in this match. I didn't know Mark Marrow was that good because I don't ever remember. Like, I was 5 years old when this happened, so I don't ever remember Mark Marrow fucking flipping like that, honestly.
Yeah, he was good.
He was doing some nice shit. Like I said, Barry Windham looked like fucking Spike Dudley. And I noticed when Triple H came out for his entrance, he did give maybe one of the first ever Triple H suckets on camera. He went right to his belt right when he came out. It was the sucket. So this is definitely like a year before DX. So
yeah.
I'm a mark for DX. Sure. I love me some DX, so I'm watching for that shit, dude. That acai moonsault, and of course they go, "What a maneuver!" He said, "What a maneuver!" He said, "What a maneuver!" I don't know how many goddamn times on this show, especially anytime anyone cut a flip or a moonsault or whatever. Yeah, kind of a weird match, but it was definitely fun. 3 beers right in the middle.
3 beers right in the middle. That's pretty fair. Let's move it on here. We got a package for Bret Hart and Stone Cold. I was really hyped for this. What a great Austin promo too before the match. Dude was just so hungry. And Bret's was actually pretty good too. And the match here is, it's just Steve Austin versus Bret Hart. JR was literally on fire. They're not trash, man. They're not clowns. They're professional wrestlers. And I was like, oh, I loved it. Like, just killing it, man. Dude, the chemistry too between Austin and Hart is just undeniable. It's an actual clinic too. Like, Stone Cold is out here wrestling, not punching and kicking and brawling like he was known for as Stone Cold. Like, he had a great wrestling match. Like, this match, bell to bell, was a fantastic pro wrestling match. Like, it wasn't really a street fight there was some punches and kicks thrown in there, but holy hell, dude, it was really good. I would say that this is probably their best wrestling match. Like, now I will say that, obviously WrestleMania 13, that match is one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. That match is easily a 6-pack. This was close, but it wasn't quite a 6 to me. It was 5 1/4 beers, and it's only because I know how good the other match was, and I was like, well, if I know that they can do that much better, it's like this match. But even this match on its own, still well into the 5 beers. It deserved even a little bit more than 5 beers, so I did 5 1/4. Where are you at, Stone Cold versus Bret Hart here?
Dude, I'm almost there with you again. I didn't go quite as high as you. I only went 5 beers because, like you said, those 6-packs are sacred, and it makes sense that this match wasn't as good as that because this was the build up for that match.
Yeah.
So it makes total sense that they don't want to blow their load on the first time around, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But dude, pre-neck break Austin, he's a goddamn ring technician, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
They are both hold for hold, every chain, lots of chain wrestling, and he's doing his old finisher, the stun gun, and then Bret Hart gives it to him, and just so much stuff, and he's working the neck. Dude, this is psychology to the T. Just he's working the neck the whole time. Of course, the lead up to the stunner. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. And like you said, JR's commentary was just so fucking sick. He was on, dude, and the finish, the $1 Million Dream, the revert, I knew what the finish was coming, but still I was like, they still had me a little bit. Even though you know what the fuck's coming, they still had me a little bit. Great match. Which shows that and dude, Vince McMahon, of course, again, great commentary. The one little brawling section, he goes, "Well, this is broken down into a Donnybrook."
Yeah, a Donnybrook. Goodness gracious, Vince.
Dude, but fantastic 5 beers, not quite a 6-pack, but dude, one of Stone Cold's best wrestling matches ever he's ever been in.
Yeah. If you want to see
Bret Hart.
Yeah, if you want to see Stone Cold in a professional wrestling match that's not a brawl, go watch this match. This is probably this is actually going to be my match of the night, bell to bell for sure.
One thing I want to point out though, don't want to go too far, but Hugo Savanovich, the Spanish announce table, he gets hit in this match, and every time that motherfucker gets hit, he does this. He just gets limp and just goes and just rolls out of his chair. He just gets limp when they touch him. It's great. I just think it's fucking hilarious. And this was before the Hell in the Cell, which is the first time I noticed him do that. But shout out to Hugo Savanovich. He's great. Great selling on the Spanish announce table.
My goodness. Speaking of the Spanish announce table, Captain Lou comes out after a promo, actually a pretty decent promo from Sid. Captain Lou comes out and sits with the Spanish announce team, which I thought was hilarious.
He's supposed to be Italian. What?
Yeah, I don't know, man. The Nation of Domination heads to the ring with PG-13 rapping. Shout out Wolfie D. There was a Cornette also on commentary for this one, which was quite hearing Cornette and Vince go at it was, super nostalgic for me. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into this one and get it over with. It was Farouk, the fake Razor Ramon, and the fake Diesel and Vader versus Savio Vega, Yokozuna, Flash Funk, and Jimmy Snuka. Ooh, my goodness. Why do we ever really like Survivor Series matches? Because this is terrible. There's no story. There's no real reason for any of these people to be in the ring together. And the ring work itself is just a bunch of broken apart little singles matches so everyone can get their shit in. I mean, it really wasn't as bad as like it could have been, but it was just so long and there's no investment at all. And I just couldn't get into it. I gave it a beer and a half. Just wasn't great to me. Wex, where you at on this multi, man?
I rate it just a little bit higher than you, but not much higher. I want a 2-pack. I gave it 2 beers just because we got to see Flash Funk come out there and do some sick shit. And he was basically doing the Godfather gimmick pre-Godfather right here. Except
he was
Godfather
doing the Brodus Clay too.
It's like a combination because he has that like pimp thing with the women, but they're dancing. But it is more of a Godfather Brodus Clay, but Brodus Clay or Godfather both couldn't do acai moonsaults and do all that crazy shit. So definitely pop for some good old Flash Funk. And then Super Flash Snuka got the biggest pop, and they were talking shit on commentary about how old he was, which was hilarious. They should have made fun of that murder.
Oh,
did I go too far? LOL.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, what a maneuver for the acai moonsault, and the way the fucking match ended, they all just chair shots and DQ for it was fucking stupid. It just turned into a big mess. Didn't make any sense. 2 beers for that Flash Funk moonsault.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I gave it a beer and a half. It was what it was. Moving on here, we got a package for HBK and Sid, which the package was awesome, of course. I remember this storyline very well. With Jose Lothario getting hit by the camera. I'm a big fan of this era of Shawn too. Loved this run. And man, they say that Shawn Michaels can have an amazing match with a broomstick, and they're not wrong because HBK made Sid look really good here. I mean, he had the crowd really captivated. It's really amazing work rate from Shawn, to be honest. I mean, just really damn good. Some awesome false finishes in there, and it was literally all Shawn. I mean, I felt like Sid stood in the ring and threw his hand and his foot around a few times, and just Shawn bumped all over the place and made it look great. Commentary was great too. The crowd really made the match feel huge as well. It's definitely not as good as Brett and Austin, but still a very good match. I mean, especially considering Sid is Sid, and it's even at this point in his career. I even forgot that Sid won the title at this one, but hey, man, Shawn worked his ass off for sure. I gave it 4 3/4 beers. So about as high as I can rate a Sid match ever. Where are you at on this main event here?
Not as quite as high as you, but again, almost right there. I just went 4.5 beers on this one. And yeah, like you said, it's a 1996 Shawn Michaels. This is like before he fucked up his back, before he's on pills too heavy. So he's still out there just fucking killing it.
Yeah,
and dude,
he's just having a good time right now.
Yeah, and this match has that classic fucking bump where Sid does the boot off the top rope and Michaels just does a fucking handstand, like straight up missile. Classic. I forgot about that when I saw that. I popped super hard.
On his head, just like.
Yeah, I was watching it work on my headphones and was just like laughed. And I was like, ah, they were like, what? And I was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have been doing that, but, you know, you got to watch wrestling sometimes when you're at work.
Of course.
But I popped real hard when they locked in the $1 Million Dream again. I love how JR kept saying, like, it's a $1 Million Dream. And then Vince McMahon was like, oh, somewhat of a sleeper. It's like every time he would have something, he would have like the other rebuttal, especially after the match. Like, he was like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, you know, whatever. Nobody, these men, I don't think they could beat Shawn Michaels. Or like, he's like, Stone Cold.
I don't think they could beat Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. Or he's like, no, I think Stone Cold or Bret Hart could beat Shawn Michaels. And Vince McMahon's like, well, I don't think so.
Yeah,
popping for his little boy toy.
Oh, the prophecy.
Yeah, the prophecy of the boy toy. But I love JR after Jose Lothario gets hit in the chest and he's like, I hope he's not having a heart attack. I hope because he stopped for a second and then he kept like, he's like, Jose Lothario. But I love how paramedics didn't come till after the match.
Right. Why would they?
Didn't make any fucking sense. But dude, this is a banger. Shawn Michaels is flipping and flopping all over the place and it's a good time. It's HBK. If you want to see like you said, probably the best Sid match of all time. It's against HBK right here at Survivor Series 96.
Still the show, 100%. Well, I don't know. I actually think I rated the Brett and Austin match a little higher.
Oh, I did rate it higher. I rated my
overall. It's like it's 2 incredible matches, and the rest of it was pretty bad. So I guess on average, it'd be like an average show. So I'd say maybe 2.5 to 3 beers total for this show.
And you know how we're comparing this to, WCW 96. As there's a shot of Sid celebrating with the title as they went off the air, and someone holding a sign like right next to his face that said NWO for life.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a perfect just
and I think less than a year later, he's back in WCW. I think it is.
I think so, because he's back there not for sure. I think in 98 he's there. He's definitely there in 98. So yeah, it's crazy, but I can definitely tell why WCW is winning just by, I don't know, just the vibe of the crowd. Besides a few matches, the overall, they just didn't have that same energy as WCW had. WCW just, I wasn't there. Like, I mean, I was there. I was a fucking little kid, like 5 years old. But when I'm watching, it's like, I feel like that feels cooler. It just has that cooler feel.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Well, it's time. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. We're going to talk about last weekend's AEW Full Gear. I am super hype about this. I'm actually going to let Wex, since Wex had his little YouTube channel and it covered AEW, he's the AEW official guy here. I'm going to let Wex take the reins and you kind of run us through this card. It was the day after my birthday party when the show came on. So I had a bunch of people still at the house and we all watched it together, and I really didn't take close notes, but I remember it very fondly. And I do have some gripes about some matches. So we'll get to it. Let's hop right in here, man. What do you got for me?
All right. So the first match of the card was the highly anticipated 2 of the 4 pillars of AEW, Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Darby Allin. And I don't have very many notes for this match because they fucking tore the goddamn house down.
Banger.
Just wow. Like they did like chain wrestling, like some of the best like counters, reversals. The crowd was going fucking nuts. Like when this halfway through the match, I was thinking like, how the fuck is anybody going to follow this up? They are absolutely just killing
match
it
of the night.
Now. Like,
no,
100% match of the night. I'm going to go ahead and tell you 6-pack. It's a fucking 6-pack. And dude, and the whole thing, the story, I'm going to beat you with a side headlock takeover because I'm better than you and you know it. And he uses the dynamite diamond ring to knock Darby out first and then hit the side headlock take. Mwah, perfect. Just perfect fucking
great.
Booking.
The storytelling with the skateboard too.
Great.
Oh, it's a perfect match. It's a great match, guys. Like, it's so damn good. Like, and also too, like, on this past Dynamite, he kind of mentioned it in his promo, but he's like, everybody's always saying I'm really great on the stick, but he can't hang bell to bell. And it's like, I mean, he silenced the critics, dude. This match was like, it was, a lot of times on the show we're like, oh, we love the match. It wasn't a Matt classic, but this was a Matt classic. It was a Matt classic. This was a great wrestling match.
This was like Stone Cold and Bret Hart. This was
this was
better than Stone Cold.
Eddie, this was Eddie and Ray. This is more like Shawn and Bret. You know what I mean? This was really, really, really. This is Steamboat and Flair.
Dude,
this is really good.
Steamboat and Savage,
Steamboat Savage. Yeah. I mean, it was a great, great, great match. Yeah, 6 out of 6. If I could give it more, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say it right now, today. MJF is the best heel in the business. Period. Including Roman Reigns, including anybody else, he's the best. Period.
Knocks it out the park every fucking time. All right, so the next match is the first of the world title matches. The Lucha Bros defending their titles against FTR in just a traditional tag team match. And this match, literally everything was really good all the way up until the very end of it.
Yep.
Same. End of it. But like the match itself, dude, so much sick shit. Like the Lucha Bros and FTR, like their work speaks for itself. You know what they're gonna do when they went out there and they did what they do. Like some sick shit, like the finish, sure, not the actual finish, because that's the thing that I know he's gonna gripe about that I'm griping about. They did their classic package pile driver, but he hopped off and then hit a crossbody onto Dax, or no, he hit it onto the other FTR guy, whatever. It was a double, just a sick ass combo move. I've never seen that before, but the finish was fucking weird. They like went under the ring and put on mask, and they were trying to do it to where they would pin the non-legal guy, but they didn't really explain it. Yeah, and it just was all wonky, and it was just like, why the fuck are they putting on luchador mask under the ring? That just really took it away from me, and it could have been higher, but I only gave it 4 beers.
Yeah, I went a little bit higher. I was same with you. I actually put that on commentary. I feel like they should have sold it a lot better than they did. It's kind of their job to tell that story at that point, and they just didn't do it very well. But I went 4 1/4, so it's literally only a quarter more. But I was there with you. I think the tag work was really, really good. But yeah, I mean the match is great. I mean FTR, Lucha Bros, you can't really deny. I mean the skill level is just insane there. Some of the false finishes they put together too were really, really, really good. Yeah, so 4 1/4 for me.
Dude, and there was a really sick spot like at the beginning where they did like a little face off and Penta's already in the ring and Phoenix just like jumps into the frame like a fucking superhero and he just like and just appears down there like he just Goku'd into the fucking shot.
Yeah.
Thought that was really sick. Yeah. So besides that disappointing finish, it was great. But the next match on the card, woo! What I'm going to say is another fucking banger that I did not expect to be as good as it was. And probably one of the best Miro matches that he's had. Like ever since he's came to AEW and kind of changed that character, his matches get better and better. And they beat the fuck out of each. This was literally a slaughter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They
was a
beat
stiff
the
match,
fuck out of each other. And it all came down to his weakness, the Miro's neck and head. And Danielson hit the tornado DDT and knocked him out because immediately when he locked in the submission, they called the bell for it immediately because he was already out.
Yeah.
Dude, talk about just meat slapping, slobber knocker. Y'all think Minoru Suzuki's badass or whatever. Dude, they beat the fuck out of each other. This was strong style to the T, and it worked perfect for both of these dudes. I gave it 5 beers. I fucking loved it. And I usually don't like Miro that much. And
wow.
They killed this shit for me.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good match. I definitely didn't go that high on it. I thought it was actually about as good as the tag match. Now, the finish was a little bit better. So I went 4 3/4. I wasn't quite at 5.
Oh, okay.
I gave it
close.
Yeah.
We've been within like a half a beer for all the matches so far.
Yeah. Also, too, though, at the time, now to be fair, hindsight's 2020. I wasn't even anticipating the Daniel Bryan heel turn. So I was like, when I saw this, okay, to me in my mind, I was like, well, whoever wins this match is going to determine who wins the world title. So when I saw Daniel Bryan win, I was like, well, Omega's winning. I mean, it just makes more sense for him to win to face a babyface. And I honestly felt like, I mean, and I still kind of do feel like I think it would have been better to have Miro go over here. And I think that it would have meant more for him to get a win over Bryan than for Bryan to get a win over him. And I think that, Hangman Adam Page having his first massive program with a monster like Miro, and Miro finally takes his first loss against the world champion, doesn't really hurt him. And it also really establishes Hangman Adam Page. I really was hoping for that booking. But now that they've turned Daniel Bryan heel, I'm in love with that as well. Yeah. So you know what, Tony, you know what you're doing. We appreciate you listening, though. I appreciate you being a fan of the show. So yeah, just keep tuning in. But we're gonna let you do your thing. You keep doing your thing, King. This was very good. 4 3/4 beers, 20 solid minutes too. I mean, great match.
Yes, Tony. Thank you, Tony. We really love that. And this next match is the 6-man Falls Count Anywhere match between the Jurassic Express, Christian Cage, and the Super Click. And I'll say this match lived up to the stipulation and the hype that they had surrounding it. It was fucking insane. Exactly what you think is going to happen in one of these matches. Just crazy spots, lots of gnarly shit. They did a 3-way thumbtack knee pad. BTE trigger.
Cool.
Luchasaurus had a fucking moonsault. Not a moonsault, a shooting star press off the stage. Just it's one of these. It's not going to be, like we said, a mat classic like the first match, like wrestling. This is it's a brawl. It's a street fight. It's a Falls Count Anywhere. And they EC dubbed it up for us, and it was impressive. I can't rate it, it can't rate it any higher than 4 beers, which I gave it because the type of match it was, but it just went, the only gripe, it went a little bit too long. Just a little bit too long. I thought it should have ended at one point.
I agree.
But the storytelling, even though it was a hardcore match, even though it was crazy, the storytelling was excellent. Mid-match, Jungle Boy was going to hit the concerto, but he couldn't do it. And then Christian Cage is about to hit the concerto to win the match, and then Jungle Boy's like, no, let me do it.
Yeah.
I'm a man now, and he fucking graduated high school and hit that.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Chair.
I think that's what got it up to the 4 beer for me, because I was really only about a 3.5 on this one, to be completely honest with you.
I agree, because when it started kind of going long, I was like, dude, come on, y'all.
Well,
take it
not
home,
only
baby.
that,
Take it home.
not only that, but like I think I was in the same boat with this one as I was with the Miro Bryan's Bryan Danielson match. Fuck,
Don't pull a Jim Ross. The whole match he was
I
calling
know.
Daniel Bryan.
Who cares? What does it matter? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I really felt like the Super Click should have won this match. I really feel like they needed to win. But it is what it is. I feel like, because I mean, at this point, Adam Cole has not really been winning. Like, he's been here and he's not been winning. Maybe this is what, brings maybe Bobby Fish and him will win. And maybe then we can get Kyle O'Reilly in after the first of the year. And they can be like, yeah, this is better than the Bucks anyway. And then maybe we can have Kevin Owens hop in with the Bucks.
Kevin Steen joins with the Bucks, and they feud with the Undisputed Era, whatever they can call it.
Yeah, the era of dispute or something like that. I don't know.
That sounds like something Matt Hardy would say.
Yeah, it does. It does sound like something Matt Hardy would say.
But all right.
Luckily, we didn't get any Hardy family office on this show.
I'm thinking everybody's getting tired of the fucking Matt Hardy, Orange Cassidy vortex of.
I'm tired of Matt Hardy. Period. Like,
yeah, it's getting a little old, but let's keep it moving. And speaking of people that are getting old with people that people ain't liking no more, that was kind of a weak transition, but you know what the fuck I'm trying to say. We're talking about Cody, the most hated man in pro wrestling right now, teaming up with Pac, taking on Andrade, El Idolo, and Malachi Black. And when I say they hate this motherfucker, the boos were heavy in this match. Like,
yeah,
I'm talking John Cena heavy. Like,
yeah.
Every time he did,
I just don't get that. I really don't understand it. I understand
it. I understand it 100%. And because if you watch my old YouTube channel, I always talked about how Cody's a heel. He's a fucking heel. I've always said he was a heel from the beginning. He's a delusional heel. He thinks he's a baby face, but he's been a heel the whole time. That's what I think. Homelander. Yeah, dude. And he wore the Homelander gear. It only makes fucking perfect sense. But every time Cody did a babyface move in this match, like got the hot tag, made the save, they booed the fuck out of him. And I laughed every time. But like the actual work in this match, of course, it's great. It's Pac, Andrade, and Malachi Black. I mean, even Cody, he's a great worker. So the work was great, but the story, it was just one of those last minute thrown together type matches. And we got to see a Black Arrow. I mean, it was some cool shit, but the lack of story and how it was just thrown together last minute, like I would rather just seen like Pac versus Andrade or Malachi versus Cody, even just a singles match. It makes more sense. So I only gave it 3 beers just because it can't just what's going on with the match. I can't rate it any higher than that, but like I have to give it 3 at least for their work and the funniness of all the boos.
I gave it 3.5 beers. I thought it was good. I like Cody. I actually thought that Pac and Cody were surprisingly worked well as a team. Like some of their double team moves were pretty sick. I was like, all right, like this, because I was like, this seems like a hodgepodge. Seems like the styles are going to clash, and they really didn't. I felt like they actually fed off each other.
Yeah, the
really,
work was
really
fantastic.
Well. Yeah, I thought Malachi and Andrade too. I mean, like they have a different kind of connection, obviously through Zelina Vega, but I thought it was cool, and I actually like kind of the idea of putting Black and Idolo like in a thing together. I think that makes sense. I honestly like that as a possible tag team idea, like Death Incorporated or something like that. I feel like it could be very cool. I don't know, like Black Skull or something like that. I feel like could be really cool. Like they could just call it something. And I mean, like them versus Lucha Bros, them versus Young Bucks, them versus FTR.
The House of Black.
Yeah, but see, because
he already has like a little.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Skull mask already.
Andrade needs to be the leader though. No. I mean, like they both need to be equal. Is what I'm saying. Neither one of them should be the leader. It should be a real tag team. That's what I'm saying. Like. It's like the House of Black, and then like Andrade has the skull. Like I feel like they could be like Black Skull, and that would be so sick. Like they could have like an awesome badass entrance. Like I don't know. I feel like it'd be a cool tag team. And I thought what I'm saying is I felt like all 4 guys. It looked like a really good tag team match, and I was surprised by that. So that's why I went as high as I did.
That's why I at least got a 3 beer for me. Like most of the
3.5
time when you toss people together, you don't really get much from it. So
yeah, I could go 3.5. I mean.
It's almost like a PWG match.
Like 3,
you know what I mean?
3/4. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Like no stories, just some good workers tossed together for a fun match.
Yeah. Normally, I hate that kind of thing, but I felt like these guys pulled it off really well, and I actually felt like the psychology was there too. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. What do we got next on the docket? It's Britt Baker, right?
Up next, it is Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Tay Conti. And even though the crowd was pretty much absolutely dead, It's
Dead.
not their fault. They put on a really good match, I thought.
It was a decent match. Yeah.
The only thing is that another time in this pay-per-view, the match went too long. Like, I felt there was a point, like when Tay like made her comeback and stuff, it should have ended soon after that, but then it just kind of kept going. And that's the only thing that really took it away, because honestly, I think Tay Conti like really worked hard in this match. Like, I've never seen her work such a good match. And Britt Baker, she always does pretty solid out there with most people, but Tay Conti, like, I even the finish sequence. Like, the finishing sequence was cool, but after she got that comeback, should have pretty much somehow went into that. They just kind of drug a little bit too long, but I thought it was great. I gave it 3.5 beers. The crowd didn't do it any justice. I thought they did better than the crowd reacted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I felt like I like Tay Conti, but I don't think that she's ready for this.
Oh, she's not ready to get the victory yet, but I thought
I don't even think
this is one of her best matches.
Position. I don't think that yeah, oh, for sure it was. But I felt like this match, like, Britt Baker's been having some bangers, like some banger matches, and this was a good match. But this was a Rampage main event. Like, they literally got exactly 15 minutes. This is a Rampage main event. It wasn't. I don't think that this was. And I know they tried to build it. I'm not saying they did a poor job booking it. I just don't. I literally still think that the women's division is the weakest part of AEW. And it's not like, I'm not saying they don't have good women. They don't have enough depth, because when Tay Conti has to be wrestling for the title at one of your you only have 4 pay-per-views a year. That's you don't have the right depth. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Ruby Soho should have been in the spot, or even Abaddon again. I mean, like, build that better. There's more meat on the bone there. I like Tay Conti. I think she's a great wrestler. I just don't think that.
Yeah, hopefully we get some more hopefully get some more wrestlers, like the Ring of Honor releases, like, just to bolster that women's division up.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing too, though. I mean, we have
now they have 2 titles, so that's
Ruby
like
Soho.
They need more people. 2 belts, they need more talent.
Yeah, but I mean, even like, for example, like, Tay Conti is better than Jade Cargill, right? But I think there's more money in Britt Baker versus Jade Cargill.
Exactly. Jade Cargill is she's better on the mic, better personality wise.
Yes.
Because Tay Conti's going to have that language barrier. It's her second language, so she probably needs a manager.
Anna Jay could have been better in this spot too. I don't know.
Anna Jay. Or, I mean, honestly, I could probably wait for that Jamie Hayter turn. I'm ready to see that match.
Ooh, yeah, me too. She's so good.
I don't know when that's going to happen, but they're setting that shit up.
Yep.
Because you notice sometimes they all do the DMD. Hayter just won't do it. She's like, we know what you're plotting, Jamie Hayter. But all right, we're going to continue on to basically the third end of the card, the last 3 matches of the card. Yeah. And the first of these last 3 matches, the shortest match on the card, but dare I say, still one of the best matches on the fucking card. Went shorter than the women's match. And this is Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk. And I really didn't know what to expect coming into this. I didn't know how they were going to work it, but dude, it was a goddamn fight. Like, everything was perfect for this. Eddie Kingston knocking him out with the back fist pre-match. Dude, when CM Punk teased the John Cena, like, I was like, is he gonna do it? Nah, but he didn't do it. He gave him the middle finger. And dude, AEW has built Eddie Kingston so good that they started booing CM Punk when he started, like, giving him knee lifts in the match and, like, getting ready to beat him, and booed him when he won. Like, that. And that even happens later with another person. No, that happened. Well, I'll say technically that happened on Dynamite. They started booing Bryan Danielson. Like, if you can get people to boo Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, you're building your fucking stars up great. And it was just a fucking classic, like, Eddie Kingston style match. Suplexes, hard hits, just stiff. I thought it was fucking fantastic. I gave it 4.75 beers. I almost gave it 5, but I don't know. I just feel like there was just because it was short, it could have just lacked a little bit of something. But dude, they beat the fuck out of each other. Daniel's over here looking at me, so I don't think he liked it very much. So let's see what he has to say.
I think that Eddie Kingston is one of the best mic guys in the business. I liked the angle going into this. I expected so much more from it. I was greatly let down by the bell-to-bell. I didn't think it was good. I thought they did a disservice to the angle they'd built thus far. And I also hate that they just dropped it seemingly. Like, he's already on to something else. I think this was a complete waste of time. I think that this was a bad thing to do to Eddie Kingston, who you're building up, and then you just have. I mean, especially if there's not a real program moving forward, it's just this one-off to put Punk over in 11 minutes. To me, this makes Punk feel like a heel, like super hard, like a heel. I mean, it's like, yo, you just come in and like you're working a couple times on TV, and then you get 11 minutes on a pay-per-view and you go over, and then that's it. And you move on to your next thing. And the next thing's probably going to be MJF, and you're probably going to beat him too. And that sucks. And it's just
but what if he doesn't? What if MJF is the first person to beat CM Punk?
First of all, that needs to happen. Like, no doubt about it. I was hyped when CM Punk came back, as everybody was. But if you listen, I mean, if we've ever talked about CM Punk on the show before pre-AEW debut, I was always like, I think he's probably the most overrated guy. Like, great mic guy, decent in the ring, but it always feels like it's forced. This is another on-track thing. Like, I don't know. I was greatly let down by this.
I thought the in-ring work was, maybe I like that style, and you maybe.
I mean, it's stiff. I like stiff. Stiff's fine, but it's like when you're seeing the 5th vertical suplex and like a dude trying to lock in an abdominal stretch. It's like, what are we doing here, man? I mean, yeah, were people into it? Yes. Like, the crowd was hyped for it for sure. The angle is great. I think Eddie Kingston did a great job of making the angle super hot, and maybe he got it over more than they anticipated. I mean, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I hope Eddie gets, a couple more wins.
Eddie's next feud is Daniel Garcia, which I'm actually looking for. Well, that could be good because Daniel Garcia can fucking work.
That's true. I don't know. We'll see. I don't like Daniel Garcia, honestly, to be honest with you. I think
Daniel Garcia is fucking sick.
I think he's okay. I just don't think he stands out above anybody else that they have. I mean, like, first of all, we are getting to a point now where the roster's getting thick. So it's hard to put, like, it's hard for me to justify giving like Daniel Garcia and 2.0 like TV time when like Men of the Year weren't even on Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a little weird to me, but whatever.
All right. Well, speaking of Men of the Year, the next matchup is the American Top Team and Men of the Year, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page versus the Inner Circle. And this was the street fight, which was like kind of legal and had tags for
the Minneapolis street fight.
The Minneapolis street fight, of course. And this matchup, I mean,
it had tags.
That's what I'm saying. It had tags, but it was a street fight, which didn't make sense. But then eventually, of course, it broke down and started getting crazy. And I will say, some of those MMA guys, especially Junior Dos Santos, he looked pretty good. He kind of, his gear and the way he was wrestling, and he reminded me of Sagat from Street Fighter. I don't know why, just because he had like the shorts and the taped up, and he looked okay for this is like his second or third match ever. And dude, insane swanton or just flip off the fucking 30-foot ladder. I don't know if it was 30 foot. Jim Ross always messed up my perception of height as a kid because he always said he's going off the 20-foot ladder. But it was like a 10-foot ladder maybe. So like, I don't know how tall the ladder was, but it was fucking huge. And swanton or flip from Sammy, even though Chris Jericho, I'm just kind of he's getting X-Pac heat with me at this point. I'm just kind of getting over him. But when he did the Eddie Guerrero tribute and it was his friend, like I knew they were friends, and that kind of softened me up a bit. But overall, this match was just it was just pure madness. I gave it 3 beers just because of, I just can't go higher than that with this. And I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, even though I walked my dog outside and let him piss during it because I was like, all right, Carl, we got to wait till the Jericho match comes up. Then I'll take you outside to pee. When I came in, I still had a good time when I came back.
I had a good time.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it with expecting to not enjoy it because I was just like, Jericho. But then he always gets me. He still gets me every time. So 3 beers, but you can't really go much higher on something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a whole beer less. I was 2 beers on this one. I just didn't. I mean, I thought Junior Dos Santos. I think he can be good maybe, but way too green. I mean, the majority of the guys in this match. I mean, Orlovsky's awful, like real bad.
Oh, he's horrible. I was just saying, like for his second match ever, he looked.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's fair. But like the second match ever, I don't care who you are, you shouldn't be in. I mean, Kurt Angle won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, and that dude had some seasoning underneath him. You know what I mean? Before they actually put him on a pay-per-view. So, I don't know.
That's true, dude. Hey, you're right.
I'm so glad that the redneck kayfabe fan came back for this episode. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. I mean, when he got the water ski out and hit him with it, they were just, I don't know.
I laughed. I know this is probably dumb, but when he pulled out the fucking bunk cake pan, and then Tony Schiavone started like, bunk cake invented in Minneapolis in like whatever year, and then it's like, why do you know all this about bunk cakes? He's like, oh, I love bunk cakes. Like, of course you do, motherfucker. God. I can see that bunk cake right there on your waist.
That little portly porcupine, man. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't for me, man. It wasn't for me. But we can move on to the next one.
A match that was for anybody who enjoys professional wrestling, long-term storytelling, just everything. And the fact that Kenny Omega was like injured and some of the shit they did in this match, like the bell to bell, of course, like Kenny Omega and Hangman Page is going to be good, but the storytelling in this match was fucking fantastic. Like, dude, especially the ending. Like Hangman setting up for the buckshot. One of the Young Bucks come out. So like we're thinking, oh, they're going to screw him again. They're going to cause a problem. And then, excuse me there. I was getting a little bit too hyped, had a little burp, but dude, it's like a perfect story. Hangman, he looks at one of the Young Bucks, hits a buckshot from the back. Kenny Omega's back. Yeah. Kenny Omega's rocked. He's on the other side, looks at the other buck, and he just gives him the nod of approval. And then he hits the second buckshot for the win. It just, it was just, it was so good. Yeah. And the fact that he hit Kenny Omega with the one winged angel and Kenny Omega kicked out. So we still protected the one winged angel by having somebody kick. It's brilliant. And so that's going to come back to play later down the line when Omega returns from injury. Like, it was just such a good match. The storytelling, six beers, of course, nutted the whole six out. This was just great.
Nutted the whole six out. I didn't go that high.
Quoted. I love both these wrestlers. I've been following this whole story and all their shit forever. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just more invested. And the fact that when the Dark Order came out to celebrate, Alex Reynolds had a beer and Hangman Page just got it and just threw it and gave him a fucking hug. Yeah. Like, that was just, God damn it. Springboard sunset flip powerbomb. Who the fuck has ever done that shit? God damn it.
It was good. It was very good. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's fired up. It's maybe not fired up.
Yeah, I went 5 1/4 beers on it. It was 3/4 of a beer that wasn't quite 6-pack for me. There were some stutter steps in there. There was a couple borderline botchy spots, to be honest with you. Yes, like the investment was there, so it didn't matter as much, but you can't give it. I mean, there was some go back and watch the match again. Like, I know that you were wrapped up because the storyline was so good, but like there was some significant stutters in there.
Sorry, he has vertigo. I'll let it pass.
That's totally true. Like, listen, I mean, like 5 1/4 beers is still a bitchin' match. Like, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, far and away, like Full Gear beat '96 Survivor Series easily. Dude. Like, I mean, slammed it to the ground. I mean, if it's
last 2 pay-per-views have been just phenomenal.
It was not as good as All Out. It was not as good as All Out.
No, it wasn't good as All Out because All Out had so much shit happen.
Jesus Christ!
If All Out is here, then Full Gear is like a close set. It's like right under it.
It's I'd say it's a pretty distant second, but I'd also say that All Out's one of, if not the best pay-per-view of all time. So like, I mean,
I don't know. Yeah. I thought this was a great pay-per-view. I thought it was well worth my $50.
Oh, for sure. Very good. Very good. I mean, I'd say on average, maybe 4 beers, maybe 4 1/4 beers, which for any pay-per-view, that's damn good.
Yeah, it's definitely well above average for sure. Really, if they just would have had, maybe took the Inner Circle just needs to break up. Get them the fuck off my TV. I love all them as individuals, but not really Jericho anymore. He's the one that's really giving me that. And fuck Jake Hager. I've never liked him. He's just whack.
Yeah, he's always been whack. I don't understand.
And that We the People gimmick was real, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I know it was.
So I got 2 words for him. Oh, and you see I got the little HBK for you, that little Austin for you, baby.
That's a bootleg shirt if I've ever seen one, but yeah.
Walmart. Yeah, I mean, dude.
It's bootleg, baby.
98, but they have a picture of like 96 or
94. Like 94, Sean.
It's super whack, but I mean, hey, it's wrestling, baby.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I got HBK on my arm. I wear that tattoo every day, so it is what it is there too. Yeah, man. So let's do our what did you got your prediction sheet from what we did last week for our Full Gear predictions?
I don't, but I know that I won because literally almost every match that I picked that you picked the opposite on, I got them right. Like I picked the Jurassic Express to win.
Yeah, those were the two. It was just those two. It was the Super Click and then Miro and Bryan Danielson. Those were the only ones we actually disagreed on.
Oh, really? No, and I thought I picked. Did I pick?
Oh, you picked Inner Circle.
I picked the Inner Circle to win, and you picked American Top Team, right?
Yeah, I picked American Top Team. Yeah.
So there it goes. I was just like,
I was off.
Inner Circle's gonna win.
But you picked them all. Did you pick them all right? No, you picked Black and Andrade.
Did I?
Yeah, and didn't Cody and Pac won the match, right?
Cody and Pac won. No, I picked the baby faces to win because you were like, oh, they're gonna lose, and I was like, oh, the baby faces are gonna win.
I thought we both picked Black and Andrade.
Fuck, maybe we're gonna go back and listen because I can't find that notebook that I originally wrote the notes in.
A son of a bitch, Wex. You know that.
But I'm pretty sure that I won.
Do more homework for the show. It's fine. You know what? It's okay. The AEW predictions title will stay in the proper care of Wex breaking the Lawson. I mean, because we don't even. All right. So all right. Well, look. You know what? It's a sudden death because I think the week before I won, the week before, and then you won this one, right? So like,
yep.
We only have that one match announced for Rampage, right?
Yeah, that's for so far.
And what is that match?
It's gonna be Bobby Fish and Adam Cole versus the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy.
All right, so who's gonna win that?
I'm gonna go Undisputed Era, baby.
Yeah, I'm going Cole and Fish too.
Okay, we can't use that one. All about the boom.
Oh my goodness gracious!
The boom.
I do like this one. I do like his new version. Like it's way better than what they tried to switch him to in NXT after he left the Undisputed Era.
This is definitely like second best to the original Undisputed Era theme.
Yeah, I agree. Well, no, actually, I think I like this one better, to be completely honest with you.
And dude, the guy he timed it out perfect where he gets to go boom. Like it's just this is the same dude who makes like a lot of the original AEW themes. Their guy. Yeah. Oh, one thing that I didn't talk about in the news, I just talk about music. Jim Johnston has been criticizing WWE's booking lately.
Okay.
Jim Johnston, you know who is the
I don't think
he guy. Yeah. That's not really. That's why I didn't mention. It's not really news, but it's just funny because the new AEW music guy is Mikey Ruckus, which he makes some whack solo music. If you've heard that shit, it sucks. But his AEW themes are sick.
He makes some whack solo music.
Oh yeah,
he's supposed to be a rapper.
I don't know. It's like that rap metal type, like weird bullshit. But it ain't for me. Okay. He had a music video with Matt Hardy in it. But you know, to each their own. Some people like Disturbed. Some people like, Creed. I don't know. So
those are two. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's get off the music.
I'm trying to think.
Why don't you stick to skating? All right. You let Mr. Knowitall handle the music references. Okay. All right, we've already said you gotten in trouble once on Twitter, yelling at Downstate, and they all got mad at us. We're sorry, Downstate, okay? We're sorry.
I'm not sorry. I'm telling it like it is.
Okay, well, next week you can tell it like it is because we're going to be covering a WWE pay-per-view for the first time in a very long time. We got away with not talking about Crown Jewel at all, and we did not see a single dip in listeners, so I really appreciate that because we just don't want to watch the Saudi Arabia shitty shows anymore. I mean, dude, it's Survivor Series. We're gonna watch it. Honestly, I haven't watched any modern WWE in like months. Like, I don't think I've seen a full episode of Raw or SmackDown from front to back in months.
Exactly. That's why we almost completely forgot about even.
Yeah, we totally thought we were gonna do a top 10 next week. We were like, oh yeah, we got nothing else going on, and it's just Survivor Series. That's all. That's how far WWE has lapsed, but also too, it's almost like, so we've been covering 96 in WCW, but we have been covering a little bit of 2006 from WWE. So we're going to be doing WWE Survivor Series 2021 versus WWE Cyber Sunday 2006 next week. So that'll be a good time. That's the Raw pay-per-view.
Dude, Cyber Sunday was a classic shit back in the day. It was one of those random fun pay-per-views.
Yeah. It was the
because you would vote online for.
Yeah, it was the sequel to Taboo Tuesday.
Taboo Tuesday, dude.
Yeah.
I remember Taboo Tuesdays happened Yeah, freshman year of high school, 2006.
Yep. There you go. 2006. Good times,
No,
man.
2000. No, I was
2004.
Sophomore year.
No, it's 2004. 2004 is when they did Taboo Tuesday.
Taboo
They
Tuesdays,
did
and then
2004, 2005, and then Cyber Sunday took over on 2006. So this is the first Cyber Sunday.
So it's Taboo Tuesdays in 8th grade, 9th grade, and then 10th grade was the Cyber Sunday. I went to Hooters to watch that.
Naturally,
you used to be able to go to Hooters and watch the pay-per-views as long as you bought food. I would order one Mountain Dew and get it refilled the entire time.
Yeah, I would order like a pitcher of beer and like a couple dozen wings, and I'd spend way too much money. But I enjoyed it. I used to go all the time.
A wee little boy. I wasn't allowed to do that legally.
You are still a wee little boy. 2 weeks from now, we have this Tuesday in Texas versus December to Dismember, both one-time only pay-per-views and odd. That's the note that Wex put in there, so that's why we're covering them. I have no idea what to expect from this, honestly. What year was this Tuesday in Texas even in?
1991.
91. That's right. It was
so
91.
We're keeping it with that same even number thing.
And then December to Dismember, that was the WWE ECW's their only pay-per-view,
it was their second pay-per-view. They only had two. It's the non one night stand pay-per-view, and yeah, it's legendarily known for just being fucking just
bad stuff all around.
This Tuesday in Texas, that's got some good stuff on there.
I'm excited to see it. We're going to be thick into the Warrior era there.
The reason that they did that actually is because they were testing this idea to possibly run pay-per-views on Tuesday nights. And that was like the test run. It just didn't catch
stupid.
Yeah, so they didn't do it anymore.
Sounds real dumb. So the following week we're going to be doing Vengeance 01 versus NXT War Games 2021. And I got to be honest, guys, like I'm trying to keep up with the modern NXT. And I literally have it on DVR, and I tried to watch this past week's episode just so I could like kind of figure out what's going on and get into War Games. And I swear to God, I watched like maybe 11 minutes of the show, and I was like, nope, not worth it. I'm just gonna watch the pay-per-views. Like it's so bad. Like everything WWE is doing now is bad. Like so NXT now feels like Monday Night Raw.
What I've heard lately is NXT has been mostly just like segments and not a lot of wrestling. Like
it. And what's sad too is that apparently this is Sean running it. Apparently Sean's running NXT now. It's just him solo. And now I'm like, oh, well, now we know that you can't be a promoter. Like, it's okay. You're still the GOAT. I'll still love you forever. But if this is the shit that you're booking, it's bad.
Not everybody can be Dusty Rhodes, you know?
Not everybody can be, yeah. Not everybody can be Cody Rhodes, but y'all don't want to hear that either.
Ooh, hot take there. Cody. Okay. Well, I'll let you know, one time pro wrestling tees, I tried to get like one of those, the $6.99 shirts.
Hey, that's in the news. Pro Wrestling Tees is shutting down their brick and mortar store because they're so busy with online stuff that they're having to move to a warehouse and they just don't have the time or funds to like maintain a small retail shop because they're blowing up, baby. They're viral. Like, so honestly, it's like the best news. Like, it's good news. Like, they got so big, they can't even operate a store anymore.
They can't go to the store anymore, but it's like good for them. I mean, wrestling is at an all-time high right now. Pro wrestling is at a point that it was when I was like, a young kid in the Attitude Era. People are more hyped now than they've been that I can feel. Like, I don't feel that crowd. I haven't felt that crowd energy since then.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say that brief NXT era when they were like really doing good. That's kind of where we were leading to where we are today.
It's a great time to be a pro wrestling fan. It's a great time to be alive right now, guys. They released Halo Infinite early. It's free to play on PC and Xbox right now. Dude, come on, guys. Like
I have Xbox, but I didn't even download it because I don't even play Halo.
Well, you know what? You're
disappoint
going to
Daniel here.
Yeah, download it now, and I'm going to drag your ass on there. We're going to have a great time.
Also, too, at FPS.
I don't think I've ever. Well, actually, we most of you weren't listening 2 years ago, but yes, if you do play Xbox, I will be happy to help carry your team in Halo. I am phenomenal. It's like the only game that I'm really good at, and I have no problem like boasting. I'm very good. So if you want me to play and help your score, feel free to add me at Daniel Daybreak, just like all my socials. You can always find me at Daniel Daybreak everywhere. You can always find the show at KFabeCom everywhere except for the Tiki Talk. Me and Wex have both been neglecting the Tiki Talk lately. Sorry, it's been crazy. We're gonna get back on there. My birthday party's over. We're gonna get back on there. It's KFabeCom Pod there, by the way. Wex, I feel like you were gonna say something, but
I'm just waiting for my opportunity to get my shit in.
Okay, anyway, yeah, so you can find the show at KFibCom everywhere except for the TikTok at KFibCom Pod. Wex, set him with the script.
And you can also find your boy, Wex, at Wex, Breaking the Lawson on all social media platforms. I'll get back on that TikTok, and also check us out, Kayfabe Comparisons YouTube.
Yes.
We upload clips from the show, and we're going to have some other random fun bullshit on there. And I want to give a special shout out to my boy Andrew Thomas, local pro wrestler here in Nashville, Tennessee area. He had a leg injury. He's not going to be able to wrestle until probably sometime next year. Go check him out on all social medias, the King of Perfection, Got a little GoFundMe or something set up for him, I think. So, maybe go help out a fellow wrestling man if you would like. But if you want to play me in some Xbox, you can catch me at Wexley, Wexley 666 on Xbox Live. And I'll play some Madden, some sports games, some Grand Theft Auto maybe, but I'm not playing them first-person shooters, dog. So... But if you want to play some sports games, holler at me. 2K, Madden, even some hockey. I'm not as good at hockey, but still, we'll play some. I want to play with you guys. Holler at me.
You are so white. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.
Peace.